But let's move on to the last segment of our conversation. And of course, this is a segment where our Sports Online MVT community sent through some questions that they would love to ask you. And I'm starting off with this one from Mpo. And Mpo simply asks about words of encouragement that you would give to young females that are interested in pursuing a career in the sports industry.
I think, I'll go back to believe in yourself. More than anything, you have to be your biggest cheerleader and your biggest supporter, more than anything. But also surround yourself with people who would be able to call you out and be able to guide you in the right direction. And being called out doesn't mean the person doesn't like you. It means that they're moving you in the right direction. And there's so much to learn from other people in the industry, whether older or younger than you. Never look at somebody and say, oh, but they're so much older than me, they don't understand. Trust me, they do. Or they're so much younger than me, they wouldn't understand. Trust me, they do. It's about you finding your niche and your mix and making it work for you.
Absolutely beautiful. This one comes through from Neo, and Neo simply asks, what is your wish for women's sport in South Africa?
I'd still go back to professionalizing women's sport. That for me is the ultimate. Let's professionalize women's sport. Let's not just talk about it. Let's have actions that lead up to it. But while we're professionalizing women's sport, let's also capacitate our top female athletes on being a brand, on how can they acquire sponsorship or become brand ambassadors so that they can make that extra revenue. Because if you look at the top athletes in the world, they might be getting top salaries where they are, but it's the additional revenue that actually puts them right on top.
Definitely. This one comes through from Maseho. She simply talks about the 2022 International Women's Day theme, which is Break the Bias. What exactly does this theme mean to you as an administrator in the world of sport?
I think as administrators, we can do more and we should do more when it comes to, we shouldn't wait for it to just be on the day. Break the bias, I had a presentation the other day and we were talking about gender equality, and I was just saying to them that gender equality is not just about having women anymore. It's about how do we include transgender athletes? Are our policies in line with transgender athletes? Also over and above that, transgender and asex athletes and stuff like that. But also over and above that, how do we tackle the abuse in sport that's taking place without fear or favor? I think that needs to be top of mind more than anything else.
Absolutely beautiful. Moonira, I would simply like to thank you so much for joining us on the Sports MVT Insider. Thank you so much for the amazing work that you are doing as an administrator in the world of sports, and of course, building a platform for our athletes to shine. And of course, we are wishing you all the best. And of course, may you continue to achieve all your dreams as an individual as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity and the platform. And I'd just like to say, Sports MVT is literally one of my most favorite platforms for women in sport. It's one that I every day check what's happening, and I really commend the people at Sports MVT for the amazing work that they do in creating that platform as well for women in sport. There's space for all of us to do different things, and I think all our collective efforts would definitely lead to the amazing change that we want to see.
Absolutely. You're locked on to the Sport MVT Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I absolutely loved diving deeper into the journeys of our athletes, coaches, and administrators to get to know them a little bit better than we do. Coming up next week, we bring you another athlete, coach, or administrator, and she shares her incredible and inspiring journey with us. Keep it locked onto Sport MVT, where we celebrate women in sport.